Hey everybody, this is Jeff from Garden Hydroponics. Just wanted to kind of drop you a quick line and show you how I set up my seed pods. A little bit different than everybody else. If you look at a lot of the other hydroponic videos, people are using rock wool to start their seeds. They're also using separate grow stations just for seedlings. I did this when I first started. Went to the rock wool. Also tried even the standard seed pods that you get from Home Depot. The small um, little kind of pill shaped, about the size of a quarter peat moss that you add water and they expand and then surround the seeds, and they all work well. I'm not going to talk badly about any of them. What I was trying to figure out is how could I get my seedling to move from that environment to the hydroponic garden quickly and easily, and not only that, without a whole lot of shock. So I started, kind of experimenting a little bit with the rock wool, and um, found that it moved. The seedlings moved very easily over there, but you would see a lot of algae and other things form on that rock wool, and I'm sure a lot of it had to do with my environment. So I started looking around for alternatives. Um, the rock wool isn't necessarily cheap. It's sterile. It's a good material to start seeds, especially in an indoor situation. But one of the things that I found, and one of the things I use pretty common now, is probably going to be a little surprising to some of you. So let's get started, and I will show you what I use to start my seeds. And I start them in the hydroponic garden day one. Um, just just put them in and let them go. Um, Once again, back to my hey, this is simple, stupid. Let's do it this way. And I'm not so sure, and I might even try this. I would bet that this would work in a a garden with soil in your backyard. It seems pretty uh, well, I don't know. I was getting ready to say pretty smart, but I'll let you be the judge. So let's get started. So we're in my workshop, or basically my print shop, um, and a couple things that you should have is just a clean surface. Make sure your hands are washed. Um, your seed packets readily available. One of the cherry tomatoes that are actually doing pretty well sprouting wise in my hydroponic garden. I want to put a few more of those together, and then I really would like to see the Brussels sprouts um, come up. So I've got those two seeds today. We're going to work a little bit on those. A little bit of water is useful. And then I went out and actually when I bought these seeds last winter, I was looking at different chemicals, and I had found this from one of the local lawn and garden place, this Fertilome root stimulator, 4103. It is pretty good. I've noticed that when it actually improves the germination of my seeds by about tenfold. So it's worthwhile. Now, what's interesting is um, I did not use that this spring. So the cherry tomato plants that we're seeing in my other videos that started from seed, they did not use this. So don't know if it's actually necessary, but I like to put just a very small amount in the water that I'm using. And then I always have a pair of tweezers handy, sterilizer clean, and then I've got a set of cotton swabs that I use here in the print shop that are good for moving the seeds around. And I'll show you that technique here in just a few. Now here's the big reveal again. So what am I using if I'm not using rock wool? Well, I went and looked around our local hardware store and I was looking for materials, and this is what I came up with. It is basically just a 20 ounce from ABCO. It's a mop head, just your standard cotton mop head. Mops do some really great things, but one of the things that they do really, really well is they wick up water. Now, it is not sterile, I will tell you that, and I would almost guarantee that the mop head itself probably has some chemicals in it where they clean the cotton fibers and things like that. So, not your rock wool choice. If you're looking for that pristine environment, you probably should not follow this tutorial. But I will say that I found that it works. I basically cut one strand off. I'll cut it into smaller pieces. These are about 4-inch pieces that I've cut one strand into. But it's going to allow me to basically sow at least 5 different plants here. So, and I use the 4-inch for a number of reasons. I've experimented with just small 2-inch sections. If my water table is deeper than 2 inches, then I want something long enough that the bottom basically gets down into the water table. It wicks the water up to where my seeds are. And like I said, this almost seems too simple stupid, but cotton mop head. Wonder how many seeds I could actually plant over the years. Anyway, this is these are the materials that you need to follow along here. Thanks. Alright, so I've taken about 3 drops, 4, maybe 5, I don't know, I wouldn't really count, a couple drops of this root stimulator plant starter solution and placed it in my water just to kind of get started. I've also placed some Brussels sprout seeds on my surface, and basically taken one of my ropes here, or one of my strings, and I just want to dip it real quick into the solution. The next little feature is you basically just have to fray that string out so that there's a little gap in the center. And I'm trying to get it so that you can see it. Sorry. There we go. So you basically get just a little gap in the center. And then you can use the little cotton swab to move and manipulate your seeds around, but basically I found that once the string's wet, you just press and go. So once your seeds are in there, you basically just twist it back up, and just remember which end is the top and which end is the bottom. That's a that's kind of key when you go to plant it. So I just like to lay them all in the exact same configuration so that I have all the tops in one direction. Only because you want your seeds obviously near the surface, but you want this tail to be down in the water and submerged. So in your medium. And like I said, pretty simple, stupid. Let's do a few more, and then I'll see you at the garden. I just wanted to come back here real quick at the kind of show you the finished product. So here's the here are 3 Brussels sprout seed pods after I've added them to the actual mop head strings. And then these 2 just happen to be cherry tomatoes, but just to kind of get in, you can kind of see they're all wrapped. If you look fairly closely, you can see the seeds in there. But pretty simple. And then the rest of my water, it's got a little bit of root stimulator in it, very tiny amount. I think I'll just throw that in the system or in the pot that I choose to plant these in. And I'm going to want to choose one that's actually fairly wet, so that it stays wet. I've found that the seeds really like the even the surface water, so sometimes I plant them near where the drains are. But those are out of all the seeds that I've planted so far, it just seems like the seeds really like the water. So too much water, not a good thing, but they do want their daily dose. So all right, let's head out to the garden. All right, so we're out here at the hydroponic garden. Looks like it's awake. I think I'm going to plant them here in this pot. I believe it's empty. It's still fairly wet on the surface in certain areas, so it should be a good one to start these seeds. As I said, just a little bit of root stimulator in this one, in this little glass, so it doesn't go to waste. We'll put that in there on the soil and kind of move it around, just to kind of move things, spread out the love. Even though it's probably only like 3 drops, it probably isn't going to be enough to do any true root stimulation. So planting these, really simple. I've even got my little tool that I had, but you can use your fingers. Just get yourself a hole that goes down to that water table, and then I like to take seed pod, the part that you actually put the seeds in, up on top. I set it down in that hole, push my finger over the bottom portion of it, and then I just dig it down, so that the bottom is definitely in the water, like so. And then just casually, carefully cover back up, and then dig the next hole. Dig down to the water table where you can see it. Take the seed pod, place it down in there so that it is. Put your finger just over the bottom corner of it, and just push it down into the water in the medium. And then bring the rock back around it. So basically what we're doing is we're anchoring the seeds in by using the wool of the mop head strain. And just once again, near the tail end, so your seeds are up on this end, and this is the tail end. And you just push it down. Get it in there. And then bring in the rock on each side. And then let the pump and the water do the rest. So those three are the three Brussels sprout. And then I'm going to dig a hole, couple holes here near the center, and I'll put the other cherry tomatoes in. And wait till you can see that water. And then just drive it down with your finger. Here, I'm putting this in a really wet area. I think it's I just for some reason think that these, especially the cherry tomatoes, just really like the water. They soak it up. So get those near that first area. I could probably even plant some other blooming plants in this pot in the outer edges that are a little bit drier, just to get them going until these get started, and then move. And then once these are started, we'll be able to move them. And hopefully, I'll keep an eye on these. And then if I start to see them sprouting, I will post an update to this video. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe below. This Garden Hydroponics and Jeff. Bye.